Ok. Me revoilà. Alors, quoi d'autre?
Yeah. He's my brother. He's in the window replacement business.
Tibbs. That's short for.
Yeah. Good man.
Bet their father's named Atticus Hardy. Lucretia Hardy would be their sister. Anyway.
In a manner of speaking.
Remember the two girls? He may be talking about the other one.
That's right. It was her idea to hang him. I liked it. For political reasons. It sent a good message. Fella, you think too much. He's off all right. You're gonna hurt your head.
A little too far there. But you're definitely right.
That woman is just affiliated with the Hardy Boys. You don't know her, anyway. Nope. You're not getting to her. It's Klasia you want to talk to. You may have noticed our girl's in some shit of her own. They can't show up on police radar kind. There are people after her. From the old world. They're powerful. Connected to the moral intern. She's clearly afraid for her life.
That's all he knows. That's all she's told him.
And why would you help someone like that? By taking on a murder?
Why would I? I guess we abide all sorts of runaways and losers here. Me too. You do that. Hey, cop. Before you go. Klasia, came to Martinez to hide. Many of us did. This is where you wash up when there's nowhere left to go. The Union takes you in. Nah, that's right. If we didn't take care of the people who end up here, this place would just be a couple of ruins.
We'll take that into account.
Bien, bien. Low on health, put points into endurance. Je pourrais peut-être faire ça, tiens.
It's always good to see you.
Something in her demeanor has changed. She's tired, consigned to her fate.
I understand.
Just like that. No resistance. Her shoulders are slouched, her feet long and
I know. For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
This is good. Clear the air first, between you two. Is it? Something is off here. Shush, I can't hear what she's saying. Let the mist speak. She's tall and thin and tired.
Why did you waste our time then?
Because of the Hardys. I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me. Out of the shit I'd gotten into. You're right. There's more. You answer to the coalition government, and by extension, the moral intern. You share a database with them. You send people to their courts. Just business. But bad business for some people in the moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me.
What happens if they do?
They will kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill, well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. This murder didn't have anything to do with me.
Fucked? People after her? Moral intern, people. Actually, this murder did have a little to do with her.
It's not nice, but it's not illegal. Not here in Ravishal.
What exactly did you do?
Industrial espionage. I joined a business collective with the intention of betraying them, with a bigger company. The kind you really, really don't fuck with.
I need the names of the companies involved and who hired you.
The job was Lou's County Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Lou Scott conglomerate. That was the second job. As to who hired me for the job, I don't know. But they're after me too, along with Lou Scott and their friends in the MI. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies. You're radioactive.
Lowe's Cap. These people engineer financial disasters in second world countries. The conglomerate also includes the Bank of Consecration, Airbird, and the popular Papalolo line of dairy products.
It is. Many people lost their jobs. Not just C-suite. Ordinary people. What I did to get to accounting, a lot of people got hurt. But that's just more of my shit you shouldn't have to deal with. We were there. Together. In bed, I mean. Okay. He was in a kneeling position. He had just entered me. I was on my back, looking at him. I heard the window behind me shatter, and I turned to look. I turned back to him. His eyes were looking through me, and his mouth was open. Dumb. I could see.
Her chest rises and falls with each word. She keeps herself together and says it.
I knew he was dead. Before he fell down on top of me. He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. There. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow, not to scream, then ran downstairs. I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. It never came.
She's forgotten about her cigarette. The butt has burned right down to her fingernails.
Oh. So am I.
What time was this? When did it happen?
11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time.
It's okay. Were you inebriated?
Not as much as usual. He'd done a line, plus other things.
This doesn't fit with the testimony of Titus Hardy. He said she was higher than usual.
Oh, yeah. I did one of his lines, just to clear my head.
Good thinking. Clear your head. You should clear your head.
Did you hear or see the shooter in the course of this?
No. Nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room downstairs. I got some clothes on and crawled back up, drew the blinds. He was still on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore, so I ran down and out of my room. And I did. I also had a side job selling insurance that I was really good at. After that, I sort of, transitioned out of the whole culture scene. When he was shot? I may have. I don't know.
The gunshot wasn't that loud. This is something to keep in mind when...
Sylvie was tending the bar. A lot of people were there. The Hardys were at the table in front of the stage. Ruby was there too. They were having such a good time. I sat down and they all welcomed me. Ruby. You know, the leader.
The leader? Of what?
The Hardy Boys. Well, nominally, yes. Ruby's the one they go to when things happen, like things they need taken care of.
This Ruby, in her phrasing, is entrusted with great power.
Would you say she is the 8th Hardy Boy?
Why not? Well, Ruby said let's talk upstairs. I showed her the room. I've known these people since December. They know my situation. She said she'd take care of this. It's what she does, you know, take care of things. I helped her get the body to the bathroom.
To mislead you, they were tampering with the body.
To produce lividity, matching a hanging?
Yes.
We completely missed the tampering. Looks like you got there in time. What was this, 20 minutes after death?
Oops.
About 20, yes. Ruby explained it would make the blood... You know what he does. Ruby went outside to talk to Titus and the boys. I was just looking at Lely in the bathroom. I had to put his clothes back on. His armor, too. It took Ruby maybe half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do. Ruby said to wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while. That we should lay low or something. I don't know. I haven't seen her since.
We will need to take this question to the Hardy Boys.
Interesting. Why did this Ruby go through so much trouble to hide something so...
That's the first thing that went through my head when I heard the glass break. I thought they'd found me. They've killed him to punish me. All last week, I've tried not to talk to anyone or be seen with anyone so they wouldn't be hurt. I've come to understand, however, this is paranoia. What happened didn't have anything to do with me. I just don't know. I don't know anything.
We can't go after Loose Cap. Not yet.
I don't ask you to, Lieutenant. If there's one thing I know, it's that you'll get nothing from there. Because I'm an idiot.
Idiot? She's nothing of the sort.
You have to understand, the people around here, no one was making the call, and he kept rotting.
Her jaw is clenched. Her throat moves. It takes all her strength not to cave in and sob.
He kept throwing stones at him for 3 days. I could hear the thud. Thud. So I called you.
She definitely called the cops. That was task complete.
Last week, Angus and Titus's brother, I think he's called Tibbs, took care of it.
You should have another look at that window after this. Yes, you see the glass sparkling out of the corner of your eye.
What? He wouldn't have died if it weren't for me.
All kinds of crazy things happen when it could have been a desire murder. He was a serviceman. He must have had... Now you guys suddenly have theories pouring out, when they're obviously just stabs in the dark.
No. I specifically asked him not to carry firearms when he was with me. He only had his stupid armor. I don't know. His friends have rifles. Maybe those psychos did it? Coalition...
She might have been a tad disingenuous when she avoided talking about the bullet in his head before. Look who's waking up from 1,000 years of sleep.
I've said I'm sorry. What more do you want me to say? I did my best not to lie. It didn't always work.
She simply shakes her head.
I did not kill him to defend myself from...
True, sire. 'Tis true.
What does that mean?
Do drugs make you aggressive?
No. People... I thought Ravishal would be more in...
The lieutenant gives you a sideway. It's not one of respect. You may want to add a clever retort to this one. She looks at you. The lieutenant shares her confusion.
I'm sad to hear that. Like what?
She nods silently. He's thinking, or maybe you should take her to the station for safekeeping. No, that won't be necessary. Just leave her alone. Multiface, I'm beginning to doubt your judgment. Are you sure you're not sleeping on the post? You have to wake this one up with force if you want to continue pushing her.
Drama, ça on en a. Drama plus 1. Drama plus 2. Waouh. Drama moins 1. Drama moins magasin. Ah, ma puce. Ma puce aussi. On va remettre ça du coup. Ok. On a un point. Ah oui, endurance, je voulais mettre un point dans l'endurance. Voilà.
I was just thinking.
Boum.
Who? What? Dear God, you've been lied to. She could have killed her lover and lied to everyone. She probably didn't give you her real name either. Why would she? Arrest her immediately before she further entangles you in her web of lies.
There may be grounds here, at least for an extended detention.
A little whimper.
What?
Her hand trembles. She's
I did. What is this? I called your desk or whatever. There was an older woman on the other end. It sounded like she was smoking.
That is the emergencies desk. Anyone could know that, sire. By looking around.
What time did you make the call?
Thursday night. It was late.
It checks out.
She stands before you.
I agree. You wouldn't give us your real name.
Okay. Okay, it's not. You log your work every week. It's all transmitted to Common, sir. I couldn't just beg you not to enter my name. So I lied. Like I lied before. Like I did at LCSB. I have to lie. It's Katarzyna Lazie.
It's a Grad name. Jimsk or Yugograd in origin. Not Occidental at all. It also makes Klazia almost an alacronym for Katarzyna Alazia.
It was a sentimental thing. I wanted to be more me here.
A nickname.
A teenage boy. 1,000,000 years ago. My parents were Zhemsk immigrants, but I'm nationalized Oranese.
Of course, she doesn't look like an Oranese woman at all.
I've always had that going for me. I only have the birthmarks of an Oranese woman. That's cool. No, it's submerged in a plastic buoy on the coast, in the reeds.
Falsified documents?
Passport and visa. Given to me by my employer. I can't even use them.
Why would they do that?
I didn't show up to a rendezvous. West of the boardwalk, in the reeds. On the coast there. I put it there when I first arrived. It's useless.
The lieutenant makes a note of it.
You're welcome to it. It's in the... I am. They can never take my sash and my scepter from me.
Yes, they can, for lying. She nods, her back straight, ready.
Clausia. It was my first real boyfriend who gave me that name. He was a writer. He made Oranese lit. And I destroyed him. I know I'm shit. I know.
Failure to aid a police investigation. She purposefully misrepresented information crucial to the case. Fucking mind games.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Enough. That's right, gang. Stern and merciless now. Stern and merciless as we reel her in. The lieutenant produces a pair of handcuffs.
Ooh.
Please no.
But there's nowhere to go. A two-story drop to the Plaza Mosaic.
I think I know who did it. Who shot Lely.
She's silent for a second, as if looking into herself for
Ruby. You said there was a secret route there, right? She could have come up through there, then taken this shot. Right here. where I stand.
Then slipped back downstairs without anyone noticing.
Interesting theory. Did she know that door exists?
Yes. She's been up here many times. She used to come to drink on the roof when, the peephole. My bed is right next to... She would have seen us.
You mean to suggest she made it?
No. No. Why would she do that to herself?
She's not really sure. It was right above the bed. She could have seen all sorts of things from there.
She has this thing for me. Ever since I met her and the boys downstairs.
What she's saying is... sex.
And more. I made the mistake of confiding in her. I told her I was on the run. She started protecting me when I started spending time with Lely. She told me to end it. Said there would be shit if I didn't.
I don't understand. What exactly in your relationship made you think she's romantically interested in you?
She said she's in love with me. She even asked me to run away with her when I told her I'm a fugitive.
And you led her on?
A little. I was flattered, you know? But then I had to let her off, and it was not easy.
This is just an assumption.
I know what it sounds like. That's why I didn't want to tell you before. Somehow, she knew Lely was dead. She wasn't surprised at all.
This is a familiar theory. You had it too, remember?
She came over one night, drunk, said she'd turn my life into a living hell. And she's a pro. She must be. To keep the Hardys in line. I tried severing ties with her after that.
Some of that fear is still with her. What are you talking about? She's afraid you'll arrest her. Okay. And what? Arrest the liar. Why? She told us some pretty interesting things there. Don't arrest her. Push her a bit more, but then let her off. She's stuck here. She's already in prison. Look around. She's only trying to help you.
Ok.
Thank you.
Something tells you, you will. She nods, then nervous.
Okay.
Je crois qu'on est bon, là.
She slowly lights another cigarette and steadies her breath. You are. This is not the end of this.
Lies.
Yes, we She slowly.
Ok. Je vais couper le micro le temps de boire mon thé, histoire de pas faire une tonne de bruit. Donc je vous dis à tout de suite.
This window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to it. Light from the desk. This window is pristine on the inside. Golden light melts away into the blue, glassy darkness of your mind. A two-hearted spider. Like the witness said, the man is kneeling. The woman is on her back. It's the night of March 4th and a shot has just been fired. The man looks directly at the woman. The shot's possible directions converge in his mouth. A ray cast from somewhere outside, entering his brain. From the roof outside, location A prime. The glass fractures around the bullet hole. Shards face inwards like a corona behind the woman's back. The man does not know the bullet has entered his brain. He never will. Death comes faster than the realization. The ray cast from the man's mouth unravels into a fan of possible directions, all on the roof at first. The shot could have come from any of them. This is composite location A prime, most likely of the origin points. There could have been. Then the rain and slush and wind washed it away. This was more than a week ago. 72%, with an antique weapon that fires military-grade ammunition. A Belmagrave rifle, for example. This is a good short distance, but not too short. The perpetrator aimed with their back against the railing, or possibly kneeling for precision. This would explain why it only took them one shot. The lights were on in here. Outside it was dark. It was like shooting fish in an aquarium. A well-lit aquarium. The victim opened his mouth to let the bullet in. Neither of them would have seen anything outside in the darkness. Too busy with their own bodies. None that you've found thus far. Point X would contradict the woman's testimony, rendering the entire proposition void. That's a 28%, yes. In this model, the shot could have come from a greater distance. According to your map of the district, this shot could have come from a wide angle of locations, starting with the northern edge of the abandoned boardwalk, ending with an islet in the bay. Let's call them B prime. B prime for boardwalk, B double prime for Land's End, and B triple prime for the islet detective. There may be smaller points in between, but those are too fine to zoom in on. 700 meters away, the likeliest of these B positions, 20% chance. A skilled sniper could have made the shot, provided he had a safe sniper's nest. Even with the light on inside, we're talking military training. At 1.2 kilometers away, the least likely of these positions, let's say 3%. A truly skilled sniper could have done it. 2 neon-lit shapes. 1 kilometer away, a point beyond the docks, on an islet in the bay. The fort is ruined, but the perpetrator may have found a stable spot on the beaches surrounding it, where the concrete crumbles into the sea. The shot would have been a small miracle, 5% likelihood.
From where, precisely? I see you have given this a lot of thought. Are those the locations you've singled out in addition to the roof? And what is the likelihood, in your opinion, that it came from a further distance? Okay, well, we should see if there is gunshot residue or sniper nests if we go down the coast. It would be the diligent thing to do. Until...
Ok, ok. C'était bien bon. Donc ça c'est fait. Est-ce que je lui reparle vite fait à elle?
Officer, it's a fun.
La map. Tiens, je vais aller là. Oh, ok, ok. Qu'est-ce que je peux faire? Qu'est-ce que je peux faire? On va voir elle déjà.
Our tenant, please.
Non.
The scruffy-haired little...
On va voir les filles vite fait.
Is that the phasmid? It looks like the phasmid. Wait. What if this is the fishing rod situation all over again? Fine. It's not a phasmid. It's not even organic. Just a fire iron resting by the fireplace.
Hello, mister. Bye.
Ok. Qu'est-ce qu'on avait à faire dans le coin? Il fallait faire un tour à l'église. peut aller voir les différents points de tir. Eux, ils ont rien à nous dire.
The legend returns. You know the deal, legend man. Smoke's a smoky, pill... Tequila...
Don't call. Don't call.
There's the locusts aren't doing. A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Meaning, this is nothing for us to do here. Let's...
Okay.
Always my pleasure to be...
Oh, c'est tout.
You see, a once bright, a slogan used to intertwine.
Looks like tomorrow...
Hello again.
There's some tear.
Oh, hey, man. It's good to see you.
Composure. No words, just dance.
Goodbye, officer.
Ok, ok. Il y a du mieux. Plus un moteur X, ça peut le faire ça. Sept. 15.
Oh, hey man, it's good to see you.
Goodbye, officer.
Oh, hey man, it's good to see you.
On a combien? 58%?
Goodbye, officer.
Oh, hey man, it's good to see you.
You close your eyes and drink.
Évidemment.
Just a match.
Puts a grin on your face. Salvation.
Goodbye, officer.
The club, true, hard, hardcore, yeah.
This young man, or maybe it's not,
The Y to the E to the F, yeah.
he missed one A.
I'm the hard rhymer. The club, true, hardcore, hardcore to the. Here comes. The club, true, hard, it's hardcore. Skibbity, skip.
Your cop training did not.
The club, true, hardcore. Hardcore to the mega, internally coherent. Good morning, yeah, it's the message. The club, true, it's hardcore. Skibbity.
Your cop.
Ok, ok.
The mother of humanism stands above you, a precious and complex. Why? That does seem to be. I don't know. Only the mother of humanism.
Yes, what is it?
Yo, man. So your cop ways came through again. Impressive. Let's see what you got. Thought I felt a special sign coming off this one. I'll just have egg pop in a frequency dial here, and we should be set.
Rarely has there been a more apt pairing of man and transceiver.
All right, Lawfarer, we're ready to do this. I have to warn you, though, once we commit, there's no stopping until we've seen it all the way through. So any cop prep you gotta do, you do it now. We'll wait if we have to. How should I know? It's up to everyone to know their own need.
At the very least, you should make sure you're wearing a good pair of gloves.
Personally, I'm gonna make sure I've got a steady supply of prep tied handy.
Now he's playing your tune. Better make sure you're ready to blast while
Don't sweat that. Egg found something down near the waterlock. That explains why it was covered in cop colours. All I have to do is run a cable from the engine up. Do what you have to do.
Hardcore charge.
Like Egg said.
c'est sérieux là?
Yo, man, the rest of the crew has got to stay here.
Much love to my hardcore antenna brothers!
Good luck, guys.
Try to squeeze in a promo spot while you're on air.
Back across the water now. At least we're getting our exercise in today.
Okay. Okay. Jusqu'à la statue, c'est ça?
Just plug that in there, would ya?
It's done. I believe we are ready.
Yeah, as ready as we're gonna be. Grab one of these can sets, both of ya. No idea what we're gonna hear when I turn this thing on, so be prepared for anything. Good. We're live in 2, 1. That's your cue, lawman.
You're all alone out there, wandering a blasted heath, calling out to the night. But there is no reply. The lieutenant looks up at you with a nervous glance. Nervous for who, though? You cannot say.
Give it another go.
Nein, Liebling. Unseren Jungen nach Bredepost. Einem dieser Dinger. Marianne hat mir erzählt, dass seit er auf einem Luftschiff aus Graz zurückgekommen ist. Halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal. Aber sie hat das Gefühl, seit seiner Rückkehr mit einem Fremden zusammenzuleben.
You can't make out a word of this gibberish.
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind. Er kann doch auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen.
Keep trying. We'll get through these radio spookers eventually. Again.
It's cold now. I didn't say anything, Detective. Someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
An uncomfortable silence falls over the connection.
It's been a long winter. Long and cold. I promise you I didn't, even though it certainly sounds like me.
Sounds like your partner's being haunted by his past self. Or maybe he's trying to warn himself. From the future, most like.
It's just a little bit of pale interference, Detective.
Outwardly, the lieutenant exudes reassurance, but you can sense a lingering doubt in his voice.
Natürlich halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal.
You just have to embrace the spookiness. Now give it another go.
But someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Sunset, please acknowledge.
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind.
Where's your partner? Please identify.
The signals are getting increasingly mixed. Plucking Archer's signal from this will be like isolating a single strand from a tangle of hair.
This isn't looking good. The radio spookers are winning. Don't know. If we can't get around the interference, we're in deep trouble. Hold on. I think Ed gave me some sort of checklist. Says here, main step, volume to the max. That's not too helpful. My guess, you climb up the centaur, man. See if there's anything obviously interfering with them.
Someone has been maintaining it.
Something about this setup seems dimly familiar, but you'll be damned if you know what you're supposed to do about it. Images of your body smashed against the pavement flood your mind. This is dangerous.
Uh-oh.
Your gloves give you a solid grip on the metal bar. You don't exactly cut a lithesome figure, but after several moments of scrambling, you manage to hoist yourself atop the monument.
J'espère que je vais pas crever. Putain.
That performance was frankly an embarrassment. The connection itself is nothing more than a little braid of exposed wire. The whole monument is covered in a thin but durable layer of oil and grime.
Well, what's it look like? That's not good. We should have cleaned the centaur man first. Hang on, I'm looking at Egg's checklist. He says, if all fails, bend antenna. Narrow, it says here, muscle style. Good question. Maybe he's saying we're casting too wide a net. Since you're already up there, I say you should do it.
The speed freak is right. The responsibility is yours and yours alone. There's no turning back now. You are face to face with Philip III. The Bronze King looks toward the west. This faithful steed is in nearly as poor a condition. A clear sky. Across the river, a few of the idle lot. She yells a single word you can't make out, and then shuts the window with a violent thunk.
Je peux rien level up. Peut-être que je peux booster ça par contre. Ça a marché? Non. Merde.
You allow the broken hunk of metal to clatter to the ground. It wasn't clear to you it did anything anyway.
Nein, Liebling.
Huh? Sounds like that was a false move. Signal's even worse now. The thing is, trying's not enough. Now it's the results that count.
He's right. This was your responsibility.
I'm gonna turn all the dials to maximum.
A maelstrom of sound, swirling and swirling around an invisible point.
Nicht mehr derselbe ist, seit auf einem Luftschiff aus Grab zurückgekommen ist.
Officer Sansa, please respond.
It's too much. Your eardrums are throbbing, about to burst.
A long winter, long and cold.
And then, nothing.
Try it now.
This is Worship Archer. We are acknowledging and accepting. though we're still getting quite a bit of interference.
This is as good as it's gonna get. I'll keep us aligned as long as I can.
This is it. You're finally getting to speak with those who hold real power. And by that, we mean the ones with the guns and the warships. There is so much you wish you could ask, but you probably only have time.
Please be advised that you're speaking on a public frequency. What is your request? A very important question with a very simple answer. We want humanity to endure. Beyond that, it may be said that we are the inheritors and stewards of Dolores Day's legacy. Immeasurable. It includes interstellar travel, 3 scientific revolutions, humanism, internationalism, the welfare state, and balance of terror theory. The role of the Moralist International is twofold: to buy humanity sufficient time to perfect itself, and to patiently guide it along the road while protecting it from ideological highwaymen and eschatologians. Let us answer your question with a question. Have you ever seen evening fall over the old town of Vesperacid? The heart of the city, the old town, is a district composed of weathered marble, comprising thousands of columns and arcades arranged around a series of grand plazas. But as the sun sets, the shadows cast by those columns and arcades weave together to form an intricate ombre lattice. When you see
The name at Vesperacid means evening comes.
by thousands of people over many centuries, in keeping with a precise plan each believed in, but never expected to see the final completion of. Not only that, but you are also part of that centuries-long plan. When you cross one of the open plazas, your own shadows is effortlessly woven into the great lattice work, a deliberate synthesis of humanity, art, and the natural world. Yes, it is. We grew up there. We have seen the lattice with our own eyes. She was. There are even those who say that at Vesperacid summoned Dolores Day. That's why the old town is sometimes called the ceremonial heart of humanity. Of course, such a city does not spring from nowhere, nor does it endure without effort. Its construction was the work of many generations, and its preservation is an equally monumental responsibility. About 3,000 years.
She really had that on the tip of her tongue. It's like she has the timeline laid out right in front of her.
That depends on how you look at it. Since the Pericarnassian incident, there have been nearly 8,000 years of recorded history. Viewed from that perspective, we are nearly 3/4 of the way there.
This is it. Final question time. I can already feel our alignment getting shaky.
Is everything alright? We lost the connection for a moment. Acknowledge. To reach the committee, all you need to do is fill out the appropriate request form and submit it to the liaison for public affairs. If the liaison accepts your request, you will be invited to address the committee at their next quarterly public hearing. We believe the next hearing is scheduled for July. We're afraid that it's quite impossible, Officer Sunset. We cannot transfer you to the committee because we are not entrusted with that responsibility.
Then, why are you wasting time with her? You should demand to speak with who's really in charge.
We're here, officer. Though we have to say...
You're getting out tangled by the big bad. Time to try something else.
Not a problem. If this is a time-sensitive matter, you may file an emergency address. They typically respond within a few weeks.
Je peux rien faire à part ça, quoi.
What part of need to reach the committee doesn't she understand? Time to lay it all out.
We will hear your request, Officer Sansa. Although we must inform you that the committee does not typically intervene in personal matters.
That's only because they haven't heard about your problems yet.
So, you're experiencing acute memory loss.
Ah, good God, here we go.
afraid we don't understand at all. What does this something have to do with your lost memory? Unfortunately, we cannot accept your request. Now, please excuse us while we update the receiving frequency.
Quick, hang up on her first. And the line goes there. You really showed her. The lieutenant gives a long sigh as he removes his headphones. He looks up at you.
I think it's best for you to climb off the statue now, Detective. Your real work is done here.
The sun-warmed bronze tingles beneath your fingertips and between your thighs. You look around. The strikebreakers are still shouting their slogans and waving their hand-painted signs.
About time. You grab that amp. Forget the cables.
What's one more trip across the waterlock?
Mhm.
All right, Copman. We've held up more than our share of this collaboration. I hope you recognise how much the hardcore underground came through for you.
If you want to show your appreciation, we can still use your help. Egg is the one to talk to. Hardcore! Mutual aid!
Sure, you have to say that now, but it's alright. I'll put this tech away later. Think there's an extra can set, in case you want to grab a souvenir or something.
Ok, je fais une mini pause et je reviens d'ici 5 minutes. À tout de suite.